Well, continuing our talk here with Rob Callister, with so many things to talk about. How are you enjoying looking after tourism? Is your sort of tourism, umbrella thing? It's such a vast area. I mean, you've been doing it some time now. Do you feel you're making headway? Are you happy with your position? Are you doing what you think you would have done when you started this position? And are you going to stay with it?
I love it, and I'd like to see this through until the election, really, in 21, because I think we are turning a corner. It's an incredibly difficult sector to promote. We do need more money if we're going to market the island as a destination. I think we have all the infrastructure, all the facilities there in the background ready to go. We have a fantastic new agency board, as I've said, that really start to promote it. I'm
trying to drill down if what you can do more, maybe, because you can't sit back and just think this is okay. It's not. 0.8% is not surely what you want to be hearing. You want to be hearing 8%, don't you?
0.8 is not great, and we have set targets to try and increase the visitor population by around 3-4% every year going forward in the next 3 or 4 years. And I think what we've had to do over the last few years is actually build some of the foundations, because let's be fair, I mean, local visitor has just been secondary for many years, but it's now coming to the forefront. We're now focusing very hard to actually attract people here. I'm grateful to the Department of Infrastructure and to DEFRA, and even to the Cabinet Office, because there's a multiple agency approach on this. And as I say, we have that brand new visit agency. Each member on that board goes out and tries to find ways to promote the island. I had people here visiting over the weekend that are coming over here to look to put an event on. I looked after them to make sure they're okay. They had a series of meetings. That's one single event. I know other members of the visit agency have done their own projects and to bring over. So I'm hoping over the next 18 months people will actually see a lot better promotion, a lot better in figures.
Okay, great. Let's talk about quickly TT. You're comfortable with the numbers that are coming and what it's doing and how much you're putting into it and how you're running the whole thing?
Yeah, the TT, again, it is really difficult to put on every year, and it's only when you're actually involved in this in the coalface you understand how hard the team works every day of the year to get that event started every year, and I'm surprised, and it gets harder every year. And it's not just the TT, it's the Southern 100 as well, and the Festival of Motorcycling, and the classic TT.
We're living under a major bit of criticism from last year, and the situation with that rider, and that's that. How do you feel about that? As the government running this situation, this whole operation.
Yeah, I've got to be a bit careful on the Steve Mercer, because it's still ongoing.
It's still live. I understand.
But what we do is, and this is again, it's we look at the event, the previous event, and we try to make it even safer. We try to change things.
You cannot make it safe.
We can't. And if you want a zero safe event, then we don't put it on, because you can't achieve that. But what we can do is to try and to change the event to improve it for everybody. Making, from my point of view, from a political point of view, I want to make sure that anyone who comes to the Isle of Man and experience in the TT, they leave with a good experience, basically. And they feel they've got value for money from our accommodation providers, from our eateries, everything. So when they go away, they promote the Isle of Man, say it's a great place to go and to watch the TT or to visit later on in the year.
And are your numbers right? I mean, you keep, every year the numbers come out, it's made X amount of money for the Isle of Man as a PLC, but it costs X amount to run it. Are you comfortable with those numbers?
Yeah, I think the numbers are absolutely right. I think every year we look at them and they're about the same. It generates around 30 million of economic benefit for the whole island. It creates around £6 million in VAT receipts.
Sure.
The visitor figures keep increasing, but that creates its own problem, because the hotels are full. I have spoke to several hotels and they're all full, and their numbers are up, which is really good. The airline figures look good, the steam packet figures look good. I think we're heading towards a very successful TT.
So time to pass it on to the next Vision 9 to let them run it?
No, I still think government, given the structure of how this works, and now that I've seen it over the last 2-3 years, it is right that government, and I said that previously, it is absolutely right that government stays in control of the TT. Given the complexity of it, of actually trying to stage it every year, I'm not sure a private company could stage it without government being involved in some shape or form.
Finally, anything you want to say to the hoteliers on the promenade at the minute who are incredibly frustrated? Most don't want to talk because they have contracts with government people, no doubt staying in the hotels. But anything you want to say to these people?
I'm seriously concerned about the promenade, especially towards the end of Summerland, and I have spoke to so many hoteliers and businesses down there. In fact, I have a meeting tomorrow with one business who's really concerned. I have tabled a question for the 7th of May, which I will be asking the Minister for the Department of Infrastructure exactly what's happening on the promenade, how that promenade is potentially will look come the 28th of May, and the TT starts.
Mr. Harmer says it's going to be cone free.
Well, we will see. So I've got that table question. With a tourist hat on, it may be worth actually having to think and not running the horse trams. That's a personal.
I'm coming to that.
That's my own personal.
Are they going to start? Are they really going to start? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
You must have some input on this one because of knowledge.
No, I don't at the moment. It is. I've got a briefing, I think, tomorrow with the department who will brief Tynwald members.
They can't get it done, can they? I mean, it must be a fantastic job if it's going to get there now.
My own personal thought is if there's any risk of the the promenade becoming blocked up during TT, then I would prefer to sacrifice the horse trams to allow traffic to flow freely during peak times, and maybe run the horse trams at a limited service in between that. But it's more important that promenade is cleared, that we've got 40-odd thousand visitors here, plus locals trying to get into work and go home, more importantly, that traffic can flow naturally across the promenade wherever possible.
Do you think there should be compensation for the businesses? And I know, like, there's a pub that doesn't do lunch at the minute because they just can't get anyone to go there. And we've done interviews with businesses who can't find anywhere for the people to park, and back to the hoteliers who are suffering. Should they have compensation?
I think that's a very incredibly difficult question. My colleague Laurie Hooper, who's also in DFE, has picked that one up, and he's starting to ask questions about that, and I fully support him if he can achieve that. I'm not sure. I think it's the problem is the way the promenade was meant to be designed. It was some sort of rolling scheme. It shouldn't have been the length it is currently, and I think it should have started one end and rolled down the promenade, so the inconvenience should have only been a matter of months. I am very, very concerned, and I do worry that come TT we could have serious gridlock on the promenade. I'll wait and see what the Minister has to say, and I'm hoping when he answers my question on the 7th of May, he convinces me that we will not have that situation. And if it's a case that we have to sacrifice the horse trams over TT, I would prefer the Minister to do that to allow the traffic to flow easy. Are
you being listened to? Because in the old days, tourism was a ministerial position. You're just a department member. I see frustration. And I remember looking back at that interview last year, a definite frustration that you're not in charge. Do you find it's difficult without being a minister? And have you got aspirations still?
Have I got aspirations to be a minister? Of course I do. But it probably won't be until the next administration if I stand for the House.
Well, there's going to be a rejig sometime. There has to be.
We'll see. It's unlikely, as I said in my interview.
But you're putting your name forward.
It's unlikely that I'd be offered a ministerial position in this administration. But that's fine. With regard to being in charge of tourism, we have a great team. And as I say, we have a head of tourism, we have a chairman on the visit agency who has got more energy than I can control half of the time.
Okay,
he's really...
Are you happy with your minister? Let me try that one.
I think I've got the right minister. I think he's a fantastic minister. I think he allows me the freedom to do the job that I need to do. I keep him fully informed, as I've always done. I trust him when I ask him for his counsel.
So you're happy?
It's the best department. And as you say...
I'm getting other things here. The
only frustration I had was when I had to walk away from the Department of Health and Social Care. In regard to DFE, it's the department I actually love. I have a role that I absolutely adore. It's harder than it looks. But at the end of the day, I'm happy where I am, and we'll see. But we have a team, and it's a fantastic team. And as I say, it's them. And I'm glad this report has come out, and I'm glad the methodology has been changed to show a small increase. It is only a small increase.
What would you like next year? Would you like to see in double figures or
no, that's
5%?
No, and I know I would like to see when I sit in front of you in 12 months' time, I would like to see a 3% increase on our tourist figures, and I think we're heading towards that figure. I will be very surprised if it's higher than that, but I'm going for 3% increase.